I'm a retail investor myself, right? I mean, I'm invested in dozens of other companies. I was a broker for retail clients for a number of years. I wrote research reports for retail and institutional clients, and it's retail, I think, in the exploration industry is extremely important.
Simon, we are so excited for you to have a metallurgical rendezvous with us today here on Mine Stock Talk. We thought we'd just start with you personally, Simon, for retail investors who may not be familiar with your background. Can you just give us a walkthrough of your journey of becoming the CEO of Aztec Minerals, what drew you to the mining and exploration sector, and how your financial background has shaped your approach to running an exploration company?
Been involved in the mineral exploration business for basically my entire career. I do have a finance background from school and my educational background, and I've worked at banks, but it's been primarily focused on natural resources. So I started out in equity research at a firm that was almost entirely focused on financing junior mining companies. So that was sort of my first taste of the industry. I was then a investment advisor at a natural resource focused boutique dealer here in Vancouver. I'm also in Vancouver, which is one of the, along with Toronto and London, is one of the global hubs for funding the mineral exploration business. A lot of touch points here. It's sort of a exploration funding ecosystem here. What drew me to it really, though, was the potential for discovery and outsized shareholder returns. And so, as your audience and you're familiar with, the exploration industry has really transformed itself over the last 50 years to one where the major companies now focus on acquiring projects and building and operating mines, and they've downloaded the exploration risk really to the junior companies. And so juniors like Aztec now have really the expertise in order to make discoveries. And if we're successful to make a discovery, there's the potential to monetize the assets that we've been focusing on, where you can see asymmetric returns. So that's what drew me into the industry. I'm really hooked on exploration, really, and I love the industry and the potential for discovery and obviously stock market wins.
I love that you just said that, because one thing, it's kind of a common theme when we speak to presidents and CEOs of mining and exploration companies and any type of resource company really, is everyone's so passionate about what they do, and that also we feed off of that, and we take that into consideration. We see that, and it helps us have confidence as the retail side in a company just like yours.
I'm a retail investor myself, right? I mean, I'm invested in dozens of other companies. I was a broker for retail clients for a number of years. I wrote research reports for retail and institutional clients, and it's retail, I think, in the exploration industry is extremely important. It's a crowdfunding model, if you will, of hundreds of investors taking risk, sharing it, and obviously the odds are stacked against you, but if it works out, and if you get into a bull market, it can be quite lucrative, and it's got this this other kind of baseline appeal of a frontier mentality of finding something new, which is kind of a rare thing to be exposed to in the modern world.
That is so true. And it's funny, you mentioned it earlier. Exploration is exciting to you, but it is to us too as retail, in that you can see a 5x, a 10x in the exploration stage of a company.
And that's what keeps everybody coming back. It's cyclical. We have many lean years, and then we have years where it all seems to happen at once. And I was very pleased to have been introduced to you both just this year. The timing, I think, is quite good. Silver and gold are obviously, gold has made a historic run. Now, I think the second most important reserve currency on the globe, surpassing the euro, just shy of the US dollar. And silver has a very well established track record of following gold. And it is proving to be true, I think, in this cycle as well. It's taken a little bit of time to catch up, but it seems that Now the real significant upside could be with the silver price, as gold has made a very, very strong move over the past couple of years. So I think for what we're doing at Aztec, we're hoping that we're in the right place at the right time.
Speaking of that, and so for investors that are just newly discovering Aztecs, what would you say is the elevator pitch and that makes Aztec stand out in this very crowded junior mining space?
Well, Aztec has been around for about 8 years now, 9 years as a public company. It was taken public back in 2017. And since we've gone public, we've now earned our stake in 2 prospective projects that have seen multiple rounds of drilling at each. So we own a 100% interest in a project in eastern Sonora, Mexico. Yeah. And yeah, that's a gold, copper, porphyry property where we've made a gold discovery. So there we've drilled over 12,000 meters, just about 70 drill holes, and have hit wide widths of oxide gold in almost every drill hole that we've put in. So that's been a focus of the company really for the first 5-6 years of its existence. And we have concurrently been advancing a project which is now a little bit more of our focus. And so this is the Tombstone Silver District, famous silver district in southeastern Arizona. Now, Arizona is known for large porphyry copper mines, but there are a couple of outlier silver districts in southern Arizona as well. One of them is Hermosa, now famous for the Taylor deposit, which is a carbonate replacement deposit style of mineralization, which was discovered and developed by a company by the name of Arizona Mining back in 2014 and 15, drilled off and sold to Australian miner South 32 for almost $2 billion in 2018. So that's the Hermosa Taylor district now. And then Tombstone is about 50 miles away. And so we own a 79% joint venture interest in the Tombstone Silver District. And our property is comprised of a number of the key patented mining claims. So these are privately owned claims. They're not your typical Bureau of Land Management administered claims. They are privately owned claims. So we own in our joint venture the surface, the mineral, the water, etc. So they're a very strong position to be in. So we own a nice sized property there, over 1,000 acres of primarily patented claims. And on our property resides most of the historic high-grade underground silver mines that made Tombstone famous back in the 1880s through to 1920. There were dozens of high-grade silver mines in operation. And then fast forwarding to the 1970s, there was an open pit heap leach gold silver mine in operation for about 10 years. So the entirety of that pit sits on our claims. So we are quite excited about the Tombstone Silver District, as we have been drilling it now 4 times. This is our 5th drill program on the property. It got underway about a month ago. We're drilling 5,000 meters, and the drill plan in this go around is 2-pronged. We are, 1, expanding on the footprint of shallow gold silver mineralization that we've already discovered in and around the historic open pit at Tombstone. And 2, for the first time, we're going to be drilling 3 deep holes into our carbonate replacement deposit style target, which is a little bit deeper than the open pit. Not deep in the sense of deep drilling, but a little bit deeper than what we've been pursuing thus far near surface. And this is going to be underway likely in August with a core drill for 3 holes. So approximately 3,000 meters of RC drilling is ongoing. And then in August, we're going to drill about 2,000 meters of core and have our first test of this potential sulfide system that we believe may be in place below the oxide gold silver system that we already know about.
The Tombstone district, I think that's what that movie's made from. It sounds
well, several movies, and I think now a Netflix show. So yeah, I mean, all that history really is owing to the silver discoveries. That's why Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday made their way there, and that's why there were 10,000 people there, 100 years ago, everybody trying to get their piece of the silver mine. So it's an awesome town. I mean, it's super mining friendly, I should say. Also, it's a small town. I mean, some people may have been there. It's a popular spot to drive through on a road trip through Arizona. It's a one-horse town. There's less than 1,000 people that live there. Their real economic heyday in the modern era was in the 1980s when the open pit mine was in operation. We have a number of the people that worked at that mine currently working for us. So from a community support standpoint, there's broad-based support for taking another look at Tombstone and hopefully making it bigger and hopefully advancing it to another commercial mining operation. Still like early to be planning that, but we're a discovery exploration company. But I think, everybody understands that if our exploration and discovery goes well, then there is the potential for another, hopefully, boom time in Tombstone. So we're right in a great town. It really just lends itself to the folklore of yesteryear to be pursuing silver and gold again at Tombstone.
Well, that brings me to a question, and most people haven't been there. I've actually gone through it. Robin and I love Arizona. It's a high important destination of ours. I'm going to guess that the infrastructures there are pretty good, or how would you describe it?
Well, I would describe it as excellent. And to provide some color to that statement, we have paved roads onto our site. We own 2 water wells on site. We have the water rights. There are multiple power lines accessing our site. We have a skilled workforce within a 5-minute drive of the mine gate. We're actually operating with our partners an aggregate business right now, which is insignificant in terms of cash flow to a mining company, but it provides employment to local people and it helps actually pay some of the bills that we incur as a joint venture. So nobody's surprised about mining trucks coming in and out of the site. It provides some local families some much needed income. Yeah, I mean, it basically is a mine. We just are hoping to make it a bigger one.
What are the results so far look like in just finishing up with that project?
Well, since we restarted exploration at Tombstone in 2020, we've drilled just under 10,000 meters, mostly of RC or reverse circulation, and we've hit wide widths along a 1 kilometer strike length target zone of gold and silver mineralization, anywhere from 60 to 80 meters of 1 to 2 grams gold, 60 to 100 grams silver. I mean, some of the highlights are 96 meters, 2.2 grams gold equivalent, 36 meters of over 6 grams gold equivalent, about 35 meters of 5 grams gold equivalent. All these holes are spaced throughout the open pit target zone. So there's good continuity along the strike of the pit. And we've now, in our recent drilling, last year, actually in 2024, we did a 3,000 meter campaign that was increased from a 2,000 meter campaign. And we started to actually, in the southern part of the zone, make a new discovery of Bonanza grade silver, which is what Tombstone was known for back in the day, 100 plus years ago. So we hit a 26 meter interval of over 550 grams silver equivalent in what we call the southern extension. So our current drilling, a good portion of it is focused on following up on that. So we think that now that we've made a couple of Bonanza grade silver discoveries in the contention shallow zone, we call it the contention pit. That's a historic name of the Tombstone property. We think that there is now good evidence for us to chase up for more high-grade silver and gold, as our model has been proven to be correct. And our model is quite complex. We have integrated decades worth of exploration data into a 3-dimensional model that incorporates not only our our modern day exploration data, but obviously underground workings from the 1910s, 20s, 30s, and even further back from that. We have old geologic maps. We have modern day alteration data, surface sampling mapping, everything's in there. And we are now validating that model through the drill bit. So it's like a very exciting juncture for us, where a lot of hard work over the last few years is coming together. And now we finally have the tailwind that really every exploration company needs, from macro factors to supplement, the interest that the investing community might have in a particular project or company.
Well, that makes sense too, to the fact that that's when a stock through the exploration phase could see some really interesting moves as we move forward and your numbers come out.
That's right. Yeah, some of the big wins in other companies do come off the back of drill results, and so we're in a position right now where we're drilling, and we haven't put out any results from our recent drill campaign yet. It's really still at the beginning of the campaign. We've only drilled for about 20 days so far, but we expect to have results and updates from the drilling and the project coming out through July, August into September, and hopefully, if all goes well, right through the rest of the year 2025.
Sounds like a periphery party to us.
Yes.
Shifting over to the Cervantes project in Sonora, Mexico, how does this project complement the Tombstone project in your overall strategy, or is it more of a standalone project?
Both projects stand alone within the company, but there are some operational synergies for us, as our geologic team, which has been with us for many, many years, are familiar with both properties. They're actually not that far away from each other, although they're in different countries. The Tombstone property is 20-30 minute drive from the border.
Really? Wow.
And it's about a 6-hour drive property to property if you're doing well on the highway. So we do share a lot of the team on both properties. Both properties share some marketing similarities in the fact that there is an oxide system, a strong oxide precious metal system on top, and then some sulfide target upside at depth. So in the case of Tombstone, our sulfide target at depth is in a CRD, or carbonate replacement style of mineralization as a theory, which we believe could encounter silver, lead, zinc, copper, gold mineralization. So that's an unknown. That's something we'll be testing at depth. And then if you compare it to Cervantes, we have a gold oxide cap to what we think could be a larger gold, copper, sulfide porphyry system underlying that and driving that mineralization. So that is also untested and unknown at this point. But what we do know is that we have strong precious metal oxide values near surface, which is very important because oxide ores can be some of the most profitable to mine. Ultimately, some open pit heap leach mines have very low capex requirements to get started, and then obviously some, not all, but then, and for us this requires further study, but the general theme and why investors tend to be attracted to these projects is they can be quickly built, and they can oftentimes run not only at a low upfront cost, but at a low operating cost as well. So both of our projects share that similar potential near surface.
When you're discussing the two of them, you point out that they're really just across the border, so it's not a big deal for your geological teams to go back and forth and study the data. So when you raise capital, though, you must have to allocate to each project. And how is capital standing right now, and what's the plan like for raises and that possibly going forward?
Well, we are fully funded now. We closed a $3.6 million financing just a few weeks ago. So there are no immediate plans to raise additional capital. We have all that we need. We have allocated a small portion of it to Cervantes that is being spent right now in a surface sampling program, which is intended to generate expansionary targets around our existing gold discovery. So we look forward to receiving the results and interpretation of that survey and communicating those to the market over the coming months. But the bulk of our exploration budget is currently being directed towards the Tombstone joint venture.
Well, that sounds like really interesting timing. So you've got drill results that would come out, let's call it in the fall, uh, progress being made in the Mexican arena. And as you were mentioning earlier, and we tend to agree, the commodity market seems to be going in the right direction for all of this. What do you think are the important things for the company, say in the next 24 months, that you expect to have happen that could have actually affect the stock price?
Well, I think the most significant factor for us will be, and similar to most companies in our space, is drill results. If we have good drill results and the gold and silver price continue to hold up and potentially perform further, then I think we'll have interest from the investing community to continue to drill and test our models. We have a strong model. We think it grows significantly from here. It obviously needs more than 5,000 meters of drilling, but that'll really be the story here, is discovery, discovery, discovery over the next, I don't know about 24 months, but certainly for the next 6 to 12 months. That will be our focus. And then obviously we have to take a break and analyze the information as it comes in, and then either change course or modify. But at this point, we are laser focused on execution of the drill program. We have doubled up our staff at Tombstone. We'll be drilling 2 shifts in August, bringing in the core drill. So operationally, we are focused on drilling those discoveries right now, and then obviously we'll be communicating those results as they become known to us.
How can investors follow along the story? And obviously you'll be bringing out news. We'll cover it as we can. Is there ways to communicate with you, and are you open to that?
Well, absolutely. I one of the best parts of my job is speaking to investors. That's really one of my favorite things to do. So I'm happy to have a call or an email or a WhatsApp convo with any potential or existing investors. My phone number is on the website, simon@aztecminerals.com. Also, please sign up for our email list on the website. So there's a little box on aztecminerals.com where you can be added to the list, or I can add you. Pretty active on X and LinkedIn. So those are 2 social media platforms that we like to use to communicate what's happening with Aztec.
Calling all savvy investors in mining and resources? Seeking the inside track on Aztec Minerals? Look no further than minestockers.com for cutting-edge knowledge and real-time stock updates. Visit for the insights and stay for the gains. Seize the opportunity and explore the magic at minestockers.com. Uncover new investment possibilities today. Don't forget to hit the bell below to subscribe, and then like and share this video. Let's get the word out there.